Hey parents, Tim here. Just wanted to touch base with you. So, are you familiar with the six black holes of childhood? I mean, this is a thing that every child, every person from the age of 10 years old to 21 and on is going to have to deal with. So you got internet danger, you got alcohol, you got drugs, you got sex, you got suicide, you got felony. All these things are going to impact their life one way or another, regardless of whether you want to pay attention to this or not. So you can either be informed and deal with these issues, or you can stick your hand in the sand. It's up to you. So what I'd like to do is help you touch base with these issues and how best to prepare your child for this stuff. Because every one of these is going to touch our kids. Every one of them, regardless of how good or how righteous our children are, or even if they're not. And every one of us have a time where our kids are not capable of handling these issues. So I'm just asking you, have you had these conversations? So let's touch base about it. So number one, internet dangers. Every one of our kids are going to touch this. Pornography, sexting, texting. There's instances of kids being extorted and being and people saying like, oh, they'll kill your parents if you don't do whatever, right? Have you had your conversations with your kids about this? About, hey, if anything ever happens like this, that you just come to me and we're safe? Have you had those conversations? Because if you're not having those conversations, somebody else is. So please have these conversations. Alcohol. Every one of these kids are going to have instances where they get introduced to alcohol. If you have introduced them to it, and I'm not saying drink with your kids, not at all. I'm just saying if you haven't had these conversations with your kids about what's going to happen when they get introduced to these situations, peer pressure, all these things, who is talking to your kids about these things? Because they will get talked to about them, regardless of whether you want to or not. Drugs. I live in a state where marijuana is legal throughout the state, and it's everywhere. Have you had those conversations? Part of this is not about just simply lecturing them, and that's not going to work, just by the way, but having conversations about how do you deal with these issues? How do you talk to them about these issues? They will have conversations about them with or without you. I hope you're involved with these conversations. I hope you're involved in touching base with your kids, letting them know that, hey, if you get in a situation, come talk to me. Sex. Kids are developing, our girls are developing at such early ages, 9, 10 years old, where they're starting to develop. And they're going to have these conversations with or without you. So please have these conversations with your kids, because they will be had with or without you. So that's internet dangers, alcohol, drugs, sex, suicide, and then felony. So these dangers do not go away if you don't talk about them with your kids. If you just hide, put your head in the sand and hide, doesn't make them go away. They still get bombarded with this stuff. So suicide, regardless of whether your kid's ever been suicidal or not, they're going to have questions and they're going to have issues and instances where their friends are suicidal or they're suicidal or having just ideations about what does it look like if I'm no longer here. They need to understand that there's families, your family would be destroyed and they would be missed. And if you don't have these conversations, they'll have them with themselves in their own brain. Felony. Instances where clowning around and being kids turns into not so much. Revenge porn, drugs, sex, putting a brick through a bank window. Let's say that your kid doesn't even do that, but some other kid that they're walking around with puts a brick through a bank window. That's accessory to a felony. That can be very detrimental to their lifestyle and to their long ambitions. These things are all things we have to contend with. What about, I mean, I did touch base about felony, but there's so many other things to it. Look, I've got an ebook I just published. Is I'll give it to you. I don't care about making money. It's not a big deal. But the 6 black holes of being a child, and what are you going to have to contend with? Internet, alcohol, drugs, sex, suicide, and felony. All these things, they all play into our children's lives, whether we talk about them or we experience them or we just blow them over. But I hope that if anything from this video that you've taken, just have these conversations, prepare them for these things, give them a chance to think about it in their brain of what would you do if you were in this situation, because that's going to give them the chance, the 1 minute, the 1 second, the 10 seconds or whatever, to think about these things. And how do you behave? How do you respond? All these things are going to be in their life regardless of whether you want to admit them or not, one way or another, by friends, by themselves. They're going to be there. So I beg of you, if you haven't had these conversations, start those conversations. You can do it. Hit me up. I'll give you my book. It's 50 pages. It's a light read, but there's plenty of substance to it to where you can have these conversations and even think about these things yourself. And what would you do? How do we handle them? I didn't handle them well. I did not handle them well because I got lucky. God smiled upon me because I should be dead or in jail. You understand that? You don't, because you don't know me. My name's Tim. But if you know these things and you can touch base on these things and you can have these conversations with your kids, you can prepare them and give them that 10 seconds or 30 seconds to think about what would they do. What would they do if they were put in this situation? So I implore you to have these conversations. Make time for your kids. Let them know that they're thought of and not just forgotten. Because sometimes, parents get busy and the kids are an afterthought. So don't be that parent. Have these conversations. I'm for you. I want you to do well, and I'm happy to help you. So let me know if I can help.